Hey there, thanks for tuning into Duckbricks. I'm Chris, and it's that time of the month. It's time for the next Bionicle Fanon contest. Hot off the heels of the golden skinned being Fanon contest, where we offered up prizes of metal plated masks and challenged builders to create the massive golden skinned being Titan, this is now a little bit of a change of pace. A contest that is a lot more open-ended, with 2 separate categories and an invitation for everyone to join, regardless of skill level, how many parts you have, or even whether you're going to make an art entry or a physical entry. Everything is on the table here. Because for this contest, we are doing a RAHI Free For All. That's right, pretty much any sort of animal, creature, any underwater animal, land animal, flying animal, you name it, is fair game for coverage in this contest. So how is this going to work? Well, much like the Dinosaurs of Bota Magna Fanon contest, you can see some of the winners up there, there will be again 2 categories, a large category and a small category. For this challenge, you can build any sort of RAHI that has either been mentioned in the Bionicle storyline before, but we haven't quite gotten a canon or visual depiction of, like the first RAHI, a monstrous underwater creature, or you could just come up with your own RAHI, type up a quick backstory for it, and submit it to the contest, much like the RAHI contest of 2005 that LEGO officially hosted themselves. This contest is all about creativity, and I want to see you submit all sorts of fantastical creatures and characters that could exist in the Bionicle world. If it's some sort of an animal, definitely feel free to include it in the contest, and this hopefully will encourage a ton of creativity from all around the Bionicle community. But without further ado, let's take a look at the rules and, of course, the prizes. Alright, let's take a look at the rules of the contest, which is linked in the description of the video, to see exactly how we're going to run this. Much like all of the other contests, we have a running tally of entries document, which is, of course, a slideshow showcasing every single entry that has been entered so far. This is not automatically updated. We do have a manual review team, so definitely go check that out whenever you want, but do keep in mind that if you do not see your entry there, that doesn't mean that we missed it. It probably just means that we haven't gotten around to putting it in yet. Moving onwards, just to summarize, this is a RAHI Free For All contest with as few restrictions as possible, so you can basically submit anything you want. There are specifically 2 different categories, much like the Dinosaurs contest, a large and a small, and if you are seeking inspiration, there is a list of canon RAHI that do not have visual depictions, which you can see linked in the list below, and feel free to check out Biosector 01, the best Bionicle wiki, for any sort of information you might need about each and every one of these RAHI, but of course you are not constrained to just this list. You do not have to pick something on this list, and instead you can submit anything you want. In fact, to supplement that, the entry form does provide an optional short bio or description, which you can include if you want to display it next to your entry image. This can actually help a lot in terms of swaying voters. If they want to pick one thing versus another, they can actually get a chance to read the bio of your RAHI itself, and if they like it, maybe that can sway their opinion. So I definitely would recommend doing it if you want to, and that adds on a little bit to the lore of the RAHI you're creating, all in great fun of the RAHI contest. Sort of similar to the RAHI book that LEGO themselves made when they hosted a RAHI contest of their own in 2005. Moving onwards from that, of course, again, there's a lot of great ones on the list, but you can submit literally anything you want. Insects, land animals, water animals, birds, you name it, come up with something absolutely crazy, and as long as it is something that does resemble an animal, you're good to go. So RAHI, if you don't know what they are, I don't know why you're here, but they are biomechanical creatures composed of organic and inorganic protodermis that serve as the fauna of the Matoran universe. Moving on from that, again, you must feature a biomechanical animal of any type built with primarily Bionicle or Technic pieces. However, system pieces are allowed, and you can really go crazy with creativity. If you want to make a system revamp of an existing Bionicle RAHI, like if you want to make the Kane Ra but out of system pieces, go for it. I want to see full creativity here, so I'm so excited to see what people come up with. There are 2 categories with 4 different prizes, large and small, a first place and a second place prize for either one, and again, in that form, you have to select whether you're submitting a large or small entry. Again, you also have the option to provide a bio if you want, which will be displayed next to the entry images, and much like all of the other Fanon contests, you must provide either breakdown photos, a studio file, or instructions. Essentially, you just need to provide all of the details necessary to reverse engineer the winning build. But of course, you can also submit an art contest, so if you want to, you can go ahead and submit any sort of artwork you want of your Rahi. In fact, the previous contest we held, the Golden Skin Being Contest, an art entry actually won, which was really exciting. Moving onwards from that, if you want to know how to enter, simply click this link right here to enter your image. Just make sure that whatever link you include is fully publicly accessible. If you link us to a private Instagram account or a private Google Drive, we can't see it, and we're going to try to reach out to you, but sometimes things do slip through the cracks. If we can't see it, then it might not actually make it in. So just make sure it is publicly accessible. Once the entry period is over, there'll be a short review period, and then we will have a voting area in a few months. Moving on from that, speaking of the schedule, here's what we're looking at. Entries are open starting right now. Happy Valentine's Day, everyone. Going over to March 4th, so you have about a few weeks to enter your mocks. Then there's going to be a short review period, a 2-week voting period, and I am aiming the winner announcement to be on March 24th. So that is going to be super, super exciting, and I can't wait to see what people send in. But now I think it's time that we move on to the prizes.
Okay, so here are the prizes for the small category of the Bionicle RAHI Fanon contest. Whoever wins the small category will get their pick of one of these two masks, and the second place winner of the small category will get the other one. Now, keen-eyed viewers will recognize these as the infamous masks from the Matanui online game, where this mask is obviously very closely tied to the RAHI because this is one of the infected masks worn by the Tarakawa, which first debuted Gali battling against the lizard-like creature on the shores of Gakoro. This is the infected Ruru, which Pterodax used to control the Tarakawa, which eventually destroyed most of the floating village. It is beautifully replicated from the Matanui online game in this teal color intermixed with an infected yellow seeping through the mask itself, and it looks really accurate to the Matanui online game, which is so cool because that was a lot of people's first introduction to the concept of RAHI and infected masks and controlling them through the masks themselves, so I can think of no better prize to be featured in the RAHI contest. But of course, there is another, because one of the other prizes here is the Infected Miru. This is the one worn by Toaliwa after his mind was taken control by the Nui Rama under Makuta Pterodax's thrall. Obviously, you have this mottled green color, you have a bit of a sand green showing through, but it's intermixed with black, showcasing a darker side to Liwa itself, and I just love how this mask looks rusted and pitted, very close to what it looked like for Liwa in the Matanui online game, and it will look absolutely fantastic on Toaliwa in case you ever want to recreate the battle between Liwa and Onua as featured in the Matanui online game. These two masks from one of the most iconic pieces of Bionicle media are directly tied to the RAHI, which is why they make total sense to showcase in this contest, and I am so jealous of whoever wins these because, oh my goodness, I am so tempted to just keep these for myself. They are so good. But wait, there's more. Because for the first place winner of the large category of the RAHI contest, we have this bad boy right here. Now, what exactly is this? Well, this is an infected Kanohi Kraken. This is mottled with dark green and red, and it looks absolutely phenomenal. This is obviously mimicking an infected look for the Mask of Shadows itself, and this is the ultimate prize for a RAHI contest like this. I cannot wait to see the mocks that will come out of the winner of this prize because this is easily one of the coolest ones we've gotten. I personally love how more and more intricate the prizes have been getting for the Fanon contest. And again, all of these masks have been provided by the incredibly talented Nate's Mask Shop. So first of all, thank you so much for doing that. And this is so cool because you have dark green, you have dark red, and that really showcases the infected nature of the Kanohi Kraken, kind of like what we saw in the actual movies for the Mask of Light and the Legends of Metru Nui movies. Makuta wore a mask with this very similar rusted color scheme, and so this is a really cool one getting the actual set version of the Kraken in these dual colors. But that's not all, because the second place winner will get a bag full of original LEGO Bionicle pieces from Christian Faber's private collection. That is right, I've been cleared by Christian Faber to actually give away some pieces from his own collection, and this is really special because these elements were used in the development of a lot of the Bionicle concepts. He was sent toys from LEGO and sent these pieces in bulk or as part of sets to experiment with, and for Advanced Copenhagen to actually create animations based off of these pieces. So this is kind of a piece of Bionicle history. I have kept them apart from the other parts in my collection because they are just that special, and a lot of these are from the 2001 to 2003 era. And yeah, just look at all of those white Matatus. These are technically misprints or European misprint color masks, so you don't see these pop up very often, and he had a lot of them. So obviously, the second place winner will be getting at least one of these, as well as a handful of other pieces. I intend to make this entire bag last hopefully several contests. I want this to eventually, when we're done with the Fanon contest, to be empty, so I'm really going to try to portion this out and give out a little bit of it per contest as just a bit of extra motivation for folks who are fans of Bionicle, who are fans of preserving the history. And again, special thanks to Christian Faber, creator of Bionicle, for literally donating this to the contest, so I really appreciate it. Technically, he donated it to me and said you can do whatever you want with these pieces, but I figured that I probably should do something a little bit more special than just like use them in my own mocks or use them in my own random creations. I kind of wanted to give back and let people have a chance to create their own stuff with them, and also just preserve them, because these are literally what he used and Advanced Copenhagen used to create their Bionicle promotions. So super cool stuff. This is going to be the second place prize. I'll get a handful of these and I'll throw in some of the masks, and that's the second place winner of the large category. So there you have it. That's the prize pool for the RAHI contest. There may not be as many different and varied prizes as some of the other contests, but we definitely have made up for that in terms of having these feel very special. These are all completely unique prizes. 3 dual molded masks for a single contest is really special, and I'm incredibly grateful to Nate's Mask Shop for just toiling away constantly. It literally took him months, as you're probably imagining what took so long to get this contest out. It took him months to perfect the color scheme of these and to make them look good. So huge shout out to Nate. Thank you so much for the hard work on this. Seriously, I am really grateful for that. And with that, let the fighting begin.
And with that, we have officially launched the Bionicle Fanon contest, RAHI Free for All. So what are you waiting for? It's time to get your brick on and submit your entries to the LEGO Bionicle Duck Bricks Fanon RAHI contest. Thank you all so much for participating. We have some incredible prizes in store here. I cannot wait. Let's go. And one last thing, the Yesterquesters are coming up next. We're going to do them individually, but one after another. There will be basically no breaks in between each contest. It will effectively be just one gigantic, long contest. Stay tuned for that later this year. Don't at me, but I think this is what the schedule is going to look like.